Part 105. Holy Dragon Totem. Author, Fengqing Yang. Chapter 1043. Basically, they are all under 20 years old. Those who are over 20 years old and can be considered geniuses have mostly become god lords. 20 years old, just born, with a promising future. For these god lords, Zhangzi is no different from a newborn at their current age. However, for some people at this age, they can already see what their future path will be like. Especially for some bloodline talents, they can already see it, such as Longyan's Supreme Dragon bloodline. At the time of the Millennium Festival, he was just under 20 years old, which was a great luck, so the number of god lords was several times that of the ancient gods. The Light Dragon clan was already the one with the most ancient gods, and the other clans had fewer ancient gods. When they were talking, they asked the ancient gods of each clan to stand up first, and Zhangzi walked to the front with them. As a result, they found that there were more than 40 clans in total, and the ancient gods added up to only about 200 people. In this way, the Light Dragon Lord gave all 6 places to the ancient gods, which was indeed the most among them. Of course, this means that the ancient gods brought by other tribes are the elites among the elites, absolutely the first in the tribe of the same age, and may even be the most talented and outstanding within the age of 100 in each tribe, such as Bai Mu. Let's start. The old rules: each tribe will take a turn. My Xian Dragon clan will come first. Lin Yan, you go out to challenge first, a top god king from the Xian Dragon clan said with a smile. These people are very scary, but there are too many strong people, and it is dazzling. Zhangzi didn't recognize any of them. When he finished speaking, a young man with orange-red long hair came out from the Xian Dragon clan. The young man had a strong gaze. Although he was not old, his gaze was particularly mature and his blood was particularly vigorous. Standing in the middle of the field, facing many seniors, he was neither humble nor arrogant, and said, "Seniors, my name is Lin Yan, I am 19 years old this year, and I have cultivated to the 9th level of the ancient god realm." Zhangzi looked at them hungry. There were 2 people from the Xian Dragon clan in total, and this one named Lin Yan should not be the most powerful among them. But even so, at the age of 19, he has cultivated to the 9th level of the ancient god realm, which is better than Chu Ziyu. I just don't know if his totem is a god king totem, otherwise, it is about the same as Bai Mu. Lin Yan made the most important self-introduction in his life to the Holy Dragon clan. After all, the elders basically didn't know him. Which clan do you want to challenge, Lin Yan? Someone asked him. The rules of this martial arts competition are like this. When it is the turn of a clan to fight, they will send people out by themselves, and then the people who come out can only choose which clan to challenge, but cannot choose who to challenge specifically. The challenged clan, as long as they are of similar age, will volunteer to fight. Even if there is a difference in age, but both parties are willing, they can fight. In fact, there is no need to ask, everyone knows who the people of the Red Flame Dragon clan will challenge. Sure enough, Lin Yan looked at a group of people in white clothes, and those people in white clothes had white flame patterns embroidered on their bodies. I want to challenge the genius of the White Flame Dragon clan, Lin Yan said. In the past, the only major clan of the Holy Dragon clan that controlled fire was the Red Flame Dragon clan. The White Flame Dragon clan was separated from the Red Flame Dragon clan. At first, it was just a small clan, but it developed rapidly later. Now, it has already entered the ranks of major clans and can compete with the Red Flame Dragon clan. The hatred between the 2 clans has existed since ancient times, so the competition between them is also a very eye-catching contest in this ancestor worship. The ancient gods are just appetizers. Later, the gods and kings may even compete and decide the winner. Everyone looked at the White Flame Dragon clan. There were also 2 ancient gods there. At this time, a young man in white stood up immediately. The young man in white was clean and white flames burned in his black eyes. He looked serious and walked towards Lin Yan and said, "I, Zhao Lanjun, accept the challenge." Okay, Lin Yan looked at his opponent with a fiery look. The two knew each other for a long time. They had probably waited for a long time for this opportunity to fight. Now they met this opponent who was related to the honor and disgrace of the clan, and they showed a strong fighting spirit. The elders are happy to watch such a more interesting duel. This confrontation will be interesting. Before they fought, Zhang Zizai looked at their totems. Both of them were peerless geniuses who had cultivated to the 9th level of the ancient god realm before the age of 20. Their totems were all god-level totems. This was actually normal, because it was more difficult to obtain a god-level totem than Zhang Zizai could imagine. Few people had a god-level totem before becoming a god-level. Lin Yan's totem was a red flame dragon. Zhang Zizai finally saw a dragon totem other than the light dragon. The characteristic of the Holy Dragon clan was the gathering of thousands of dragons. He should be able to open his eyes to watching the battle this time. Lin Yan's totem was called Red Dust Flame Dragon Totem. In contrast, Zhao Lanjun's totem dragon was a white flame dragon. Both were burning with fire, tit for tat, with red fire burning and white flames weird. Zhao Lanjun's totem is called the Towering White Flame Dragon Totem, which is also one of the top totems among the god-level totems. Next, the two people who shouldered the feud presented a fierce duel for the elders. Although their opponents were children's toys to the elders, their fighting spirit and competition were real. Although they were children, they were fighting for life and death. The two fought desperately, and it was inevitable that they would both get hurt. In fact, they should be evenly matched. If they continued like this, they might both get hurt. Even if someone won, it would be a miserable victory. Next, they would have to watch the 1,000-year grand scene, which would definitely affect them. Zhang Zizai observed and found that the 9th level of the ancient god realm was indeed powerful in divine source. Even if their battle tactics and divine weapons were nothing to Zhang Zizai, and their divine bodies were not too strong, the top power of the divine source alone was enough to daunt him. He was now at the 6th level of the ancient god realm. No matter how strong the power of the destructive divine source was, it was impossible to withstand the bombardment of several times, or even nearly 10 times, the ancient god source power. This was equivalent to Zhang Zizai holding a knife in his hand. The knife was indeed sharp. If the opponent held a wooden stick, no matter how thick the wooden stick was, it might not be better than the knife. But now the opponent was equivalent to carrying a pillar and smashing it down, and the knife could not stop it. Looking at this battle, he knew that he had a long way to go. About a quarter of an hour later, they were both nearly defeated. The elders of both sides did not fight over the ancient god. They all agreed to stop the fight. After all, the two were evenly matched and there was no need to decide the winner. The victory or defeat between you depends on who becomes the God Lord first, and more on who will become the God King faster in the future. Today's victory or defeat is meaningless. After letting Lin Yan go, the elders of the clan said this. I know, but I still want to win glory for my clan, Lin Yan said unwillingly. Holy Dragon Totem. Author, Fengqing Yang. Chapter 1044. Becoming a strong man, turning talent into strength, and strengthening our clan with the power of the strong, is the real glory for our clan. Yes, Lin Yan finally calmed down. Next, according to the positions of the various clans of the Holy Dragon Heavenly Clan, one by one, someone stood up to challenge, and naturally someone would accept the challenge. Now it's just the beginning, and there is no situation where no one will accept the challenge. The Bright Dragon Clan is just opposite the Red Flame Dragon Clan, so it won't be their turn so soon. But Zhang Zizai didn't expect that the third battle had just ended and it was the fourth person's turn to appear. The fourth position was from the Purple Sky Dragon Clan, which is also a top clan and is near the Bright Dragon Clan. At this point, I hope readers will remember our domain name Taiwan Novel Network rightward arrow dot. The Purple Sky Dragon clan sent out a girl in a purple skirt, which set off her figure very well. Although she was not very old, she was already exquisite and plump. She was the first woman to appear, so she attracted a lot of attention. At this time, she took off the purple veil on her face. She was indeed a peerless beauty who was enough to make young people crazy. When she appeared, several young gods from the Purple Sky Dragon clan were staring at her. Junior Xing, 18 years old, 9th level of the ancient god realm. Totem is the god level god Palace Thunder Dragon Totem. Her voice was soft and pleasant, and her appearance was charming and attractive. Now that she appeared here, she was really a beautiful scenery. It seemed that many people knew her, and her popularity was much higher than Lin Yan and others. I've heard that Xing of the Xiao Dragon clan is very beautiful, but I didn't expect it to be true. She is the daughter of the Purple Sheng God King. She is of noble birth, inherited her father's appearance, and has outstanding talent. She is expected to become a God King before she turns 20. It is said that she has the hope of having a God King level totem. The Purple Sheng God King has prepared it for her, but it seems that he wants her to become a God King before trying to evolve the totem, so that the possibility of success is higher. 2 years younger than Bai Mu, it is really good to have this realm. Zhang Zizai heard several God Kings of the Light Dragon clan discussing. In fact, the God Kings are only a little older than them, some of them are about 100 years old. To them, Xing is actually a young person. A beautiful and moving woman always attracts a lot of attention. After Xing appeared, many of the Purple Sheng God King's friends also congratulated him, but Zhang Zizai saw that no one seemed to speak on the side of the Light Dragon clan. Are we slightly in conflict with the Purple Xiao Dragon clan? Zhang Zizai asked Bai Mu beside him. At this time, he could only ask him. There has been a dispute over the Light Thunder Lake for some time, Bai Mu said. That's right. Everyone was looking at Ziying, but his eyes were cold. It turned out to be a competition for resources. He had just finished asking when Ziying's eyes suddenly fell on the 6 of them. Maybe she didn't expect there were so many ancient gods here, so she was a little surprised, but she still said, I want to challenge the Light Dragon clan. When she spoke, her eyes fell on Bai Mu and said, even if you don't use the God King totem, I'm not afraid of you. She obviously meant to challenge Bai Mu, and she was not afraid of the gap in totems, which was very heroic. Her challenge was not beyond the expectations of the elders, but many people only saw that there were so many people in the Light Dragon clan. Hey, what's going on with the Light Dragon Lord? Why did he bring so many ancient gods? It seems that their realms are not very high, and their ages are not young either. Don't you think it's strange? 2 of them are our dragon totem ancient gods. It's a bit random to waste the quota like this. I think the gods who came are all very good. Why are they so lax when it comes to the ancient gods? They must let more gods come. I don't know what they are thinking, letting so many children come to see the world. People talked about it and were very curious about the way of the Light Dragon clan, but they had no right to interfere. It's a pity that although there are many people coming, it seems that only Bai Mu can make Xing interested in challenging. The levels of the others are really a bit low. At this level, our Blizzard clan doesn't want to bring them. Many small clans basically brought one ancient god, and some even didn't bring any. There is really no suitable one in this age group, so it's better not to waste the quota. When people were discussing it, Xing just finished speaking and added again, please speed up, everyone is waiting. Bai Mu narrowed his eyes. He was not afraid of her, but he didn't want to fight at this time. In his imagination, Xing was not his opponent. Behind Xing, there was another young man, that was the pride of the Xiao Dragon clan, a legendary existence. Like him, Bai Mu, he had a God King level totem, and his God King level totem was obtained by himself. Just when Bai Mu frowned, Xuanhuan God King suddenly said, "Zhang Zizai, you come to fight." Zhang Zizai was stunned for a moment. He didn't expect the war to involve him. Xuanhuan God King spoke, but he would not be the one to arrange it like this. Zhang Zizai guessed that this should be the arrangement of Guangming Dragon Lord. "Dragon Lord, you overestimate me." He was about to ask if he was sure to let him fight against such an impossible opponent, but the heavenly dragon God King beside him said, "Just go and try. Winning or losing doesn't matter. I'm just giving you a chance to show off. The Light Dragon clan can't find a standard opponent like this anyway." Zhang Zizai could only nod his head. He still listened to the words of the heavenly dragon God King. Ziying was indeed strong, but after all, it was just a battle of sparring, not a fight of life and death. He fought hard, so why bother about winning or losing? So he stood up and walked towards the battlefield without much hesitation. But when Ziying saw it, his face became much colder, and he said, "Bai Mu, are you afraid of me, so you find a shield to fool me? You'd better not forget the rules. You are not qualified to choose anyone. You can only talk about it after you can take him down," Bai Mu said lightly. Since the Bright Dragon Lord arranged it this way, he was also happy to watch the battle. Coward Ziying smiled coldly. She knew that Bai Mu would definitely not fight. She was not afraid of losing, but now that she had already appeared and the other party had sent out troops, she didn't mind taking action. "Are you second only to Bai Mu in the Bright Dragon clan?" She squinted her eyes slightly and asked Zhang Zizai. "No, my strength is humble, almost at the bottom," Zhang Zizai said. "Oh, is this statement because you are afraid of losing too badly and losing face for the Light Dragon clan?" "You are quite smart," Ziying said with a smile. "Some tit for tat, with the temper of the Supreme Dragon clan, they will not hide too much." When she finished speaking, the Purple Sky Dragon clan's Purple Sky Dragon Lord said, "Child, don't talk nonsense. After all, some people are good at deceiving themselves and will not admit it. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Holy Dragon Totem. Author, Fengqing Yang. Chapter 1045. After he finished speaking, he laughed. He also looked like a child and looked quite cheerful, but everyone knew that he was mocking the Dragon Lord of Light. After hearing this, the Bright Dragon Lord smiled coldly and said, "The clown still has his style." The two Dragon Masters actually taunted each other, which made the scene much more lively. In this way, the fight between Zhang Zizai and Ziying was quite interesting. It's just that there is a huge gap between the two people in their realms. Most people simply can't understand what the Bright Dragon clan is going to do. Are they really going to humiliate themselves? When they stopped talking, Ziying didn't have much patience. Zhang Zizai was not an enemy she had any interest in, so the fight was a waste of her efforts. She could only crush him and get out of it. Therefore, the way she looked at Zhang Zizai was actually very indifferent. She didn't even have the interest to look any further, so she just took action. She didn't take out the totem magic weapon, but it suddenly flashed in front of Zhang Zizai and stabbed Zhang Zizai with one finger. Come on, when those white fingers were moving forward, purple thunder suddenly flashed. The thunder suddenly erupted and turned into thousands of electric snakes, swarming towards Zhang Zizai's chest. "Roll!" Ziying scolded contemptuously. The next moment, she stood frozen on the spot, because Zhang Zizai stretched out his palm at some point, and just when her fingers were about to pierce his body, he grabbed her fingers with that palm, and the black thunder was entangled in the palm of his hand, and he just held her fingers, completely holding down the purple thunder and lightning. It looked as if Ziying reached out and asked him to grab it. Zhang Zizai touched it and said, "My hands are quite tender, but do you want to crush me like this?" He seemed to be sympathetic to her, but that was not the case. When he was speaking, he suddenly twisted. If Xing hadn't become so angry that she pulled her finger back with all her strength, she would have broken her finger. Interesting, originally, many god kings did not understand the behavior of the bright dragon lord. This seemed to be an attempt to embarrass Zhang Zizai. But after the scene suddenly happened, they discovered that being able to catch Xing's attack with bare hands like this, at least it shows that Zhang Zizai is quite capable and is not as fragile as he seems on the surface. After Xing withdrew, she took out the silk scarf and wiped her fingers hard. Then she looked at Zhang Zizai indifferently and said, "I'm going to chop off your hand today." "Take it back to treasure," Zhang Zizai asked with a smile. "To be honest, this girl is quite fierce. Take it back and feed it to the dog." She didn't expect that this person was really bold. She was already angry. At this moment, purple lightning burst out from her body crazily, and countless lightning and thunder were all around her. Gathered together, in a short period of time, those purple lightnings actually formed a huge palace. This palace was lifelike, just like the real thing, but it was all made up of purple lightnings. At this time, it was directly trapped Zhang Zizai in it. This is the power of her totem, Thunder Palace. A Thunder Palace is her world. This is the totem power of the domain type. In this Thunder Palace, the endless lightning and thunder can restrict and kill opponents everywhere. After getting angry, Xing showed off her skills directly. In addition to the Thunder Palace, she also had an additional weapon in her hand. It was a purple longsword named Aurora Electric Blade, which she could use to quickly known as a God King. It is a weapon that many god lords long for. Her most powerful thing is her speed. Her speed is a bit similar to the lightning storm Zhang Zizai once had, but it is too terrifying. In this Thunder Palace, where the lightning is, her whereabouts are. The girl in the purple skirt is shining in it, holding the Aurora Electric Blade in his hand may bring a fatal crisis to Zhang Zizai at any time. Xing is angry. Otherwise, she would not have so many trump cards to deal with an opponent whose level is lower than hers. Bai Mu said to Chu Xiu who was beside him. With this kind of strength, Zhang Zizai can't stop him. "I know what level he is," Chu Xiu said. She had just fought with Zhang Zizai. Yes, Bai Mu nodded and said nothing more, and by this time the battle had completely broken out. Zhang Xiu finally took out the heaven sacrifice dragon divine halberd in the Thunder Palace. For a moment, 300 sacrificial dragons surrounded his body, guarding him like a dragon king. At this time, in fact, there were countless lightning and thunder bombing from the surrounding Thunder Palace all the time, hitting Zhang Zizai's body. Zhang Zizai did not resist at all, because his body had been fused with light, cloud, thunder, and lightning, and now this level of lightning attack can only make him feel very comfortable. "Are you really a member of the Light Dragon clan?" Xing knew very well that such a terrifying resistance was impossible for the body of the Light Dragon clan. Zhang Zizai had just shown his lightning power. "What do you think?" Zhang Zizai stood up with his sword drawn, and gathered his strength for a moment. At this moment, he suddenly attacked. The opponent had the movement technique of 10,000 Thunderstorm, and he also had Dragon Sacrifice Shine. The 300 sacrifice dragons were constantly changing. He couldn't catch Xing, but it was very difficult for Xing to hit him. What Xing used was the Nine Heavens Electric Light Sword. This combat technique was used in conjunction with her Thunder Palace. When the sword struck down, it could pull out tens of thousands of thunders, leaving Zhang Zizai with no place to hide. People could see that it was clear that in her anger, she used the Nine Heavens lightning sword to its extreme. The entire Thunder God Palace had been engulfed by the Thunder Sword Chi, and there was no place for Zhang Zizai to dodge. However, he was able to change constantly, and even threatened Xing with the Heavenly Sacrifice Dragon God Halberd from time to time. Once the Heavenly Sacrifice Dragon God Halberd chopped down, Xing's Aurora Light Blade was directly trembling, and the power of the infinite time-breaking blade was incredible. Then Zhang Zizai's 5 Emperor's dragon seals burst out one after another. It can be said that he performed all 5 dragon seals perfectly. Although the 5 Emperor's dragon seals allowed the opponent to survive with the powerful ancient god source power, Xing's hair was messy and she looked embarrassed, which people could see. She was furious and fought back again. This time, Zhang Zizai did not fight her head-on. He continued to dodge and resist, looking for the next opportunity. He was not in a hurry anyway. Since he could not defeat the opponent head-on, he would continue to fight her and fight a protracted war. In the protracted war, his immortal will of war was very useful, and he was able to suppress the opponent from time to time. No one expected that the battle between Zhang Zizai and Xing could last for so long, and there was no feeling of being crushed. "Old Immortal, what realm is this kid you brought?" Xixiao Dragon Lord finally couldn't help asking. "6th level, are you angry?" Guangming Dragon Lord laughed. He laughed, but the place was completely silent. Holy Dragon Totem. Author, Fengqing Yang. Chapter 1046. There is no doubt that Xing, who is at the 9th level of the ancient god realm, has the power to crush Zhang Zizai in terms of ancient god source power, but the key point now is that Zhang Zizai has many means and his magic weapons are equally powerful. As a result, Xing has never been able to truly defeat him. Zhang Zizai's dragon sacrifice shining body skill is very clever, almost making all her attacks miss and wasting power in vain. Such a battle is still in a stalemate, which is beyond the expectations of the elders. What is even more unexpected is that everyone knows that Zhang Zizai's realm is not high, but it is absolutely unexpected that he is only at the 6th level of the ancient god realm. The 6th level of the ancient god realm and the 9th level of the ancient god realm fight like this? Xixiao Dragon Lord narrowed his eyes and did not speak, because with his realm, he could naturally tell whether Guangming Dragon Lord was lying. What level of the god source of the source of heaven is this? The lethality is so great, a god king among the Xixiao Dragon clan asked. At least the 8th level or above. But even if the divine source is strong, it is impossible to fight Xing like this. He also has the inheritance of the divine king. The weapon in his hand seems a little familiar. It is very likely that it was once a totem weapon of the divine king level. At this time, almost everyone was talking about Zhang Zizai. "God King Guanzhao, can you introduce me?" After all, at this time, basically no one knew what Zhang Zizai's name was. "His name is Zhang Zizai, and he is the disciple of our Tianlong Divine King," God King Guanzhao said. God King Tianlong? The Divine King of the Little Divine Realm. Many people know the reputation of the Tianlong Divine King. God King Tianlong has been admitted to the Bright Dragon Association, God King Guanzhao said. Congratulations. Familiar people congratulated one after another. God King Tianlong was there. Everyone knew that this person was gifted and his disciples were indeed very special. God King Tianlong, I have a question. Why is Zhang Zizai only at the 6th level of the ancient god realm, but can exert such strength? This is really unbelievable, a blue-eyed god king among the King Mu Dragon clan asked. Seeing that everyone's eyes were focused on him, the heavenly dragon god king smiled and said, he received the inheritance of the heavenly war god king in the tomb of the bright dragon. Everyone should remember that he was a person who advocated the holy dragon and created the holy dragon celestial body, a bodybuilding technique. Zhang Zizai practiced the holy dragon celestial body, and the weapon in his hand was the heavenly sacrifice dragon divine halberd of the heavenly war god king. So that's it? Having the inheritance of the god king does have some advantages, and it is the holy dragon celestial body. The god kings present know a lot about the details of the holy dragon celestial body. The holy dragon road he took at the beginning had a major impact, although there are very few holy dragons now, almost none. A holy dragon again? The heavenly dragon god king is really good. You are a holy dragon yourself, and you have personally cultivated a holy dragon. Is this Zhang Zizai your offspring? Someone from the Purple Sky Dragon clan asked. Anyway, there were too many god kings present, and Zhang Zizai didn't know who they were. He did hear that the heavenly dragon god king also took the holy dragon road, no wonder he saw colorful lights in his dragon scales. That's not the case, said the heavenly dragon god king. But even if that's the case, it's impossible for him to have such strength, right? The nature of his divine source is a bit powerful. In addition, his weapons and totems are also advantages. If my guess is correct, this should be the source of evolution of infinite time and space. What they mean is that even if Zhang Zizai's special features are added together, he can't stop Zing. Besides, he has the potential to be a god, said the Light Dragon Lord. He looked a little proud and didn't mind revealing Zhang Zizai's talent at all. In fact, even many people in the Light Dragon clan didn't know about his potential to be a god. Potential to be a god, that is to say, he has a greater hope than others to become an eternal and immortal god. Congratulations to the Light Dragon Lord. The Light Dragon clan can give birth to such descendants, and the future should be even more magnificent, some of the god kings of the small clans praised. No wonder the Light Dragon Lord brought so many young ancient gods, it turned out to be to show off. He was only at the 6th level of the ancient god realm, but he made geniuses at the 9th level of the ancient god realm helpless. Zhang Zizai became famous in one battle and was directly promoted to the ranks of top geniuses. All the important figures in the entire Holy Dragon Heavenly clan now know him. The top divine source, totem divine weapon, the inheritance of the God King plus the potential of the God, and the totem of infinite time and space, in terms of capital, it is indeed very strong. If the realm can be higher, reaching the 9th level of the ancient God realm, it may be more perfect. During the whole battle, Zhang Zizai felt that too many eyes were focused on him, trying to see through him. In fact, these geniuses present have very strong capital, and they also have many of what I have, so it is really difficult to fight Zing now. He may not be able to hold on for too long. Today, you have stepped on me and made your reputation. Zhang Zizai Zing was full of anger and was still attacking frantically. If she couldn't take Zhang Zizai again, she would probably be embarrassed. Don't think too much, you are nothing more than that, Zhang Zizai said with a smile, angering his opponent again and affecting his performance. He was a scoundrel anyway, so he would hide if he could. In fact, the reason why Zing failed to take him down was mainly because Zhang Zizai's holy dragon celestial body, after absorbing the light cloud and lightning, most of Zing's attacks could hardly cause real damage to it. The watching god kings must have seen through this. If it was another kind of power that Zhang Zizai had not successfully cultivated, he would probably be able to take him down quickly. This battle has been the longest since the opening. If it continues like this, who knows when it will end. They can see that Zhang Zizai can last a long time if he wants. Under this premise, when hearing many people praising Zhang Zizai and Guangming Longzun being complacent, Zixiao Longzun curled his lips and said, "There is no comparison to continue, Zing, come back." Dragonzun's order, Zing had to stop even if he wanted to defeat Zhang Zizai. Wait and see, next time I will definitely find an opportunity to make you have nowhere to escape. You coward, Zing threatened. Next time we meet, you will not be my opponent, Zhang Zizai said. Everyone heard that Zhang Zizai was quite arrogant. His state of mind may be a little worse, otherwise his realm would not be so low. To be honest, his talent in realm is not too high. Indeed, at the same age, those who can bring the origin dragon cave are at least the 8th level of the ancient god realm. If Zing becomes a god, he is just bragging. Although he is not very optimistic about Zhang Zizai's mentality, his performance today is indeed enough for the elders of the Holy Dragon clan to know him. Although it is not enough to amaze the audience, it has attracted a lot of attention. Please bookmark this site to read the latest novels. Holy Dragon Totem. Author, Feng Qing Yang. Chapter 1047. Zhang Zizai returned to the Light Dragon clan calmly. The elders were very satisfied with his performance. They all praised him and praised the ability of the heavenly dragon god king. This battle was actually a victory of the Light Dragon clan over the Purple Sky Dragon clan, so the Light Dragon Lord was also very happy. It was not the first day that he and the Purple Sky Dragon Lord had been at loggerheads. It was a thing from ancient times to the present. The two clans had ups and downs, competition and comparison. Anything could be used to fight and compare. Zhang Zizai found that sometimes when he was old, even when he became a god, he was actually trapped in the 7 emotions and 6 desires. He was still not the supreme, mechanical and compassionate God who saved all living beings in his heart. He thought that the kind of God in his heart was actually what mortals imagined. As long as there was a place in the rivers and lakes, there would be a self. If there was a self, there would definitely be 7 emotions and 6 desires. But in short, he became famous in one battle. I just don't know if it is possible for Juxian to hear his reputation if Zhang Zizai spreads. If she hears it, she should come to the Light Dragon clan to find him. During these days, Zhang Zizai has seen many maps of the dragon sacrifice domain, but he just doesn't know where she is. Lingling has grown up slowly. Where is she? It's been a long time since we last met, and my longing for her has already surged. I wonder if she is okay these years? Where is she? The battle between Zhang Zizai and Ziying ended without a winner. After that, most people on the Zixiao Dragon clan had cold faces. They came with great momentum, but they didn't expect to have a feeling of failure. The Purple Sheng God King patted his daughter's shoulder and said, "It doesn't matter, don't think too much. No matter how talented this person is, his realm is so low, and he will only widen the gap between you in the future. If the 3-fold gap still can't defeat him, then the 4-fold and 5-fold gap will be better. I think he just happened to practice the thunder part of the Holy Dragon celestial body, so he is just slightly restraining you at present." I know Ziying nodded, but she still couldn't bear the other party's way of becoming famous by himself. "Later, I will avenge you at this time," a young man beside her said. The young man had a pair of purple eyes with thunder wrapped around them, like 2 thunder balls. Ziying nodded and said, "Zijhen, don't be influenced by me. People often compare you with Bai Mu. Today, I must let people know that there is a gap between you. Don't worry, I know how good Bai Mu is." A flash of lightning flashed in the eyes of the young man named Zijhen. He looked in the direction of the Light Dragon clan and said, "For this day, I have waited for a long time. The people of the Light Dragon clan must pay the price." His eyes were filled with anger and hatred. Now he is the pride of the Zixiao Dragon clan, but in fact, he was just an insignificant member of it. He just saw his parents die in the Light Thunder Lake with his own eyes. From then on, he transformed like a demon, created miracles one after another, and finally stood in the place today. He will never forget that the man who killed his parents is called Guanjiao God King. Zizhen has made great progress, and he has worked hard to make himself better. His totem has evolved to the God King level, and he is proficient in it. With your fighting power, you are likely to defeat Bai Mu, but you still need to keep your mind stable, God King Zisheng warned. "He will," Ziying said gently. She would only be so gentle when she looked at him. God King Zisheng looked at his future son-in-law. In fact, he was very satisfied. While they were talking, the battle in the circle was still going on. The young people of the Holy Dragon clan were fighting fiercely. In the blink of an eye, half a day had passed. It was only then that it was the turn of the Light Dragon clan to fight. There were too many ancient gods on the side of the Light Dragon clan, and there were many choices, so there was some suspense about who would fight next. No one was watching Lu Dingxing and Xuanhuan. Zhang Zizai had already performed. Everyone knew Chu Ziu and Bai Mu, and Long Yan attracted some attention. Just when people were curious about who would fight, the Light Dragon Lord personally said, "Yan'er, you go out. Challenge the Blizzard Dragon clan." Long Yan had made some preparations. Since she was assigned to it, she simply walked into the field. The Light Dragon Lord asked her to challenge the Blizzard Dragon clan, so she did. Zhang Zizai remembered that the Blizzard Dragon clan should be one of the small clans, not very large. However, when he locked onto the Blizzard Dragon clan's team, he found that the people in it were quite strong, and its scale was close to that of a large clan. The Light Dragon Lord's targeting attracted the attention of the Blizzard Dragon clan. "Introduce yourself," the Light God King said to Long Yan. She nodded and reported her name and realm. When people heard that she was only at the 5th level of the ancient god realm, they were simply stunned, because at this age, at the 5th level of the ancient god realm, she was not qualified to come here at all. It is indeed only about the 5th level of the ancient god realm. What does the Lord of Light Dragon mean? The Blizzard Dragon clan seems to have only brought one ancient god. The Lord of Light Dragon clearly wants this girl to deal with him. This child named Long Yan has never appeared. She has a somewhat cold temperament and is obviously not a dragon of the light type. Is she also considered a dragon of the Light clan? I see that she has always been with Zhang Zizai. Maybe they are together. At this time, someone asked the Heavenly Dragon God King, "Is this girl also your disciple?" The Heavenly Dragon God King said directly, "These 4 people were brought here by me from the small divine domain. They came to the dragon sacrifice divine domain in the past 2 years. They grew up in my small divine domain." This statement caused some shock. People didn't know that these 4 people were trained in small divine domains. In this case, it was understandable that their realm was relatively low. You know, many people in small divine domains have just become ancient gods at this age. Small divine domain, many people showed a look of sudden realization. The Bright Dragon Lord is not a fool. He brought the 4 ancient gods from small divine domains to worship the ancestors. He must think that they have a good future, so he reduced the number of god lords. Then this girl is only at the 5th level of the ancient god realm. What can she do? Is she also a holy dragon celestial body? Many people were curious. When their eyes were cast on the Blizzard Dragon clan, they knew who Long Yan's opponent would be. The Blizzard clan has developed rapidly over the past 1,000 years, and has produced many god kings and many talented people. If it continues to develop like this, it is possible to become a large clan with more quotas for ancestor worship. Hey, who is the child next to Blizzard Dragon Lord? Many people's eyes fell on a 13 or 14-year-old boy. The boy had white hair, was not very old, and had a frosty face. He looked profound. If it weren't for the childish look on his face, I'm afraid he would be mistaken for an adult. Please bookmark this site to read the latest novels. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Holy Dragon Totem. Author, Fengqing Yang. Chapter 1048. You don't even know him. You are so ignorant. Didn't you hear about it more than 10 years ago? Blizzard Dragon gave birth to a child. This child is the only son of God in the world in the past 10,000 years. Other sons of God are at least top god kings, and some have disappeared long ago. Blizzard Dragon gave birth to a child? Son of God. I really didn't notice it. I have been in seclusion for more than 10 years. This matter was quite a sensation at the time. Although the child is small, I thought Blizzard Dragon would bring it to the ancestors. Sure enough. Now all in addition to several top-level god kings, only this child is the son of God. His name seems to be Sikong. In terms of seniority, this child is our ancestor. How old is Blizzard Dragon Lord? He can still give birth to the Son of God. By the way, the father of this child. SHH. Stop talking. Don't ask too much about some things, it's not important. Got it? Zhang Zizai also vaguely heard the identity of Long Yan's opponent. Sure enough, Guangming Dragon Lord chose a very heavyweight opponent for her, who was much higher than her opponent. The 13 or 14-year-old child turned out to be the son of the Dragon Lord of the Blizzard Dragon clan next to him. That Dragon Lord also looks very young. In terms of appearance, he is definitely a stunning beauty. Even if his face is full of frost, it is beautiful enough to shock people. Although he is immortal and I don't know how many years ago he existed, this kind of appearance always makes people look at it more. This ancestor is so good at keeping his face, which is really enviable. After all, being beautiful for so many years is also a skill. Of course, the bright Dragon Lord who can rejuvenate is also very capable. There are too many strong people present, and Zhang Zizai is dazzled. It turned out to be the son of the god. No wonder he has such achievements at the age of 13 or 14. Zhang Zizai asked Bai Mu, what is this guy's strength? 13 years old, the 7th level of the ancient god realm, like Long Yan, he has the blood of the supreme dragon, and became a god at the age of 7. They are both the top in the entire dragon sacrifice domain. People predict that he will become a god at around 18 years old, and the difference is not expected to be too big. The only thing that is not too outstanding is that he is still a god-level totem, but it is said that it is because the Blizzard Dragon Lord has not found the most suitable one for him. After all, the God King level totem is really important, Bai Mu said lightly. He has a deep understanding of this person, because although the two are 5 or 6 years apart now, after hundreds, thousands, or even tens of thousands of years, this age difference is not a difference at all. Not bad. Zhang Zizai didn't realize that this guy's future talent was higher than Bai Mu's. After all, he was still of the Supreme Dragon bloodline. The Blizzard Dragon clan was developing vigorously, and this young man was also its future hope. In the past 20 years, there have indeed been many geniuses who have not appeared in the past 100 years. In the past, the Millennium Festival would not even bring ancient gods, Tianlong Shenhuang said. Now Long Yan has said that he will challenge the Blizzard Dragon clan, and he is waiting for the response from the Blizzard Dragon clan. The young man named Sikong Yu, after seeing Long Yan, turned back to the Blizzard Dragon Lord and said, "Mom, this is not the opponent I want. I refuse to fight." He was simple and straightforward. After all, the Blizzard Dragon clan only brought one ancient god. In fact, refusing to fight is definitely possible, but it is a bit embarrassing. After all, they are clearly challenging the Blizzard Dragon clan, not setting up Sikong Yu. Only bringing one person is the business of the Blizzard Dragon clan. Haha, you are as timid as a mouse. Sikong Yuan. Are you afraid that your precious son will get hurt? The bright Dragon Lord laughed. Zhang Zizai didn't expect that the serious and mysterious Light Dragon Lord of the Light Dragon clan seemed to be quite open in front of his old friend and old rival, and could say anything. Sikong Yuan, of course, was Blizzard Dragon Lord. Senior Dragon Lord, I'm not timid, but I think she's not worthy of being my opponent. Unexpectedly, Sikong Yu was quite courageous. Standing in front of his mother, he dared to talk to Light Dragon Lord like this. Blizzard Dragon Lord gently pulled Sikong Yu away and said, he just thinks it's meaningless. Or you can change someone else. If you let that Chuziu come, he might be willing. Light Dragon Lord curled his lips and said, forget it. If you don't dare to fight, just say it directly. You also want me to change to a simpler opponent. I've heard that you treat her like a treasure. Sure enough, the rumors are true. Tisk tisk. What do you mean? Chuziu, is it simple? Blizzard Dragon Lord is lower in seniority than Light Dragon Lord, so she can still keep calm. Although Chuziu was depressed when she heard this, it was said by Light Dragon Lord, and she had no choice. If you think you are not worthy, just defeat me directly. It won't be a waste of your time. You are still putting on airs now, which is a waste of my time. Long Yan didn't like to stand there stupidly, so she spoke up. In fact, she had a temper, but she was good-tempered in front of Zhang Zizai. Although the opponent was a 13-year-old kid, he was the son of a god after all, and he also had the blood of the supreme dragon. The key was that he had great talent. She was more than 5 years older, and her talent had long been left behind by 100,000 miles. In the eyes of everyone, their talents were not at the same level, and they were not even at the same realm. Although Long Yan was older, her realm was still 2 levels lower than the opponent. The key was that the opponent was a child of heaven. He didn't take other ancient gods at the 7th level seriously. How could he be interested in an opponent like Long Yan? You said, then 3 breaths. Xuanhuan finally couldn't help it. He knew that if he didn't fight, the Light Dragon Lord would ridicule him. Although fighting with such an opponent was a bit low class, he had to fight to deal with the Light Dragon clan. Be careful, Blizzard Dragon Lord warned. Got it. Xuanhuan flew forward and appeared in front of Long Yan. Looking at this older sister who was older than him, after getting closer, he suddenly found that the appearance and temperament of this opponent were still very attractive. It's a pity that the qualifications are too different, otherwise I would have wanted to show mercy, Xuanhuan thought to himself. He made a lot of preparations for today and roughly determined which opponents he would face, but he didn't expect that his first opponent would be this kind of color. Of course, he felt a little depressed. But after all, it was a challenge from the Light Dragon clan, so he just took it down. Begin. He didn't even bother to say a word to Long Yan. He gathered a fist in his hand. In an instant, snowflakes flew, and the battlefield instantly fell into the cold winter. Whoosh! He punched Long Yan, and in an instant, the sky and the ground were freezing. Get lost. In fact, he was very fierce and did not hold back. He just wanted to knock the man away with one punch, so that people could truly understand his strength. People who have seen him said that he is the young man under 100 years old, the one with the brightest future. At the age of 13, he is the 7th level of the ancient god, and no one can compare to him. The only son of a god within 10,000 years old. One of the few supreme dragon bloodlines. Please bookmark this site to read the latest novels. Holy Dragon Totem. Author, Fengqing Yang. Chapter 1049. The power of this punch froze the heaven and earth. Just as he was about to knock Long Yan away and freeze her into ice, a flash of blood mist appeared in front of him, and his opponent disappeared. Ding! In an instant, a sharp spike passed by his back. He dodged it, but the bloodthorn still pierced the flesh on his shoulder. Although it only scratched a little skin, part of the blood demon of the bloodthorn of the sky entered his body. In an instant, a terrifying murderous intent was set off inside. Ah! Xuanhuan screamed directly, and hurriedly used the ancient god source power of his whole body to suppress it, and then forced that little blood demon out. After all, it was only a small part. Most of the blood demons turned into a figure at this time, surrounding Long Yan, like a devil supporting her. Heaven-destroying bloodthorn. The inheritance of the god of killing? No wonder he is so confident. Blizzard Dragon Lord recognized it after taking a look. Average, the Dragon Lord of Light smiled. He was very satisfied with Long Yan's performance. Xuanhuan claimed that he could crush Long Yan with one move, but he didn't expect that he would be hit and scream in the first moment. In fact, the process between these moments has already amazed many god kings. The speed is quite fast. Heaven-destroying bloodthorn, the inheritance of the god king of killing, is indeed the inheritance of the god king. Fortunately, most of the heaven-destroying bloodthorn was destroyed. This girl is a bit interesting. But, can she be considered as the Dragon Lord of Light in this state? This is completely different from the word light. In their sight, Long Yan is now covered with blood-colored dragon scales, Her eyes are dark red, and she has no emotions at all. Now she is more like a killing machine, especially the sharp blood thorns on her hands. Looking at them for a few more times makes people's scalps numb. In addition, the ubiquitous 9-death blood demon is also particularly terrifying. The 9-death blood demon is attached to the heaven-destroying bloodthorn, changing at will, ghostly and terrifying. Now Longyan's momentum is actually suppressing the son of the god, Xuanhuan. After all, this guy is still a child, and he is still young. The first time he was hurt so much, he has completely aroused his anger. You dare to hurt me? No one has ever hurt me. His eyes were instantly furious. When he was angry, the world seemed to be even colder. His anger completely exploded, and the whole person was full of murderous intent. Longyan was too lazy to talk to him. What responded to him was her lifeless blood shadow. She used the blood demon as her foundation and kept flashing around. It was silent, but it could bring him a fatal blow at any time. A waste, at this age, it's only the 5th level. Do you really think you can fight with me? Xuanhuan sneered. He knew that he was careless just now. From now on, he would not give Longyan any chance. It was just that he was injured in the first battle. This was not in his plan, so until now, he could not forget the stab just now, and the more he thought about it, the more irritable he became. What totem ability does this guy have? Zhang Zizai was concerned about Longyan, so he couldn't help asking Bai Mu. He felt that he and Bai Mu should have a good relationship. After all, now was the time to face the outside world together. If they communicated more, Bai Mu might not be jealous of him anymore. It seems to be the 9-fold Snow Realm Heavenly Dragon Totem. The 9-fold Snow Realm is a domain-type ability that can create a 9-fold blizzard world. 9 worlds are suppressed in a chain, with ice and snow, one layer on top of another, basically like an ice and snow prison, Bai Mu said. Why are you so concerned? Are you afraid that your Yanner will get hurt? Chu Xiu said sourly. That's right, but I'm afraid that she will accidentally kill the son of the gods, Zhang Zizai laughed. Arrogant, Chu Xiu said with contempt. Just as they were talking about this, the battle broke out again. This time, Xuanhuan used all his means to suppress Longyan. The first was the ability of the totem. Zhang Zizai clearly saw that around his body, a 9-layer ice and snow world appeared. One layer contained another layer. All the ice and snow were swarming towards the inside. Each layer was constantly generating ice and snow storms, and everyone was crowded inside. Under this premise, the innermost layer, which was the layer where Xuanhuan and Longyan were, had an ice and snow storm that was constantly rising. Moreover, the barrier of this 9-layer ice and snow world was very obvious. It was simply a cage. It was necessary to break through the 9 layers continuously to get out of his domain. This is already a top-level god-level totem. In such an ice and snow world, even if Longyan was covered with frost at this time, the ice and snow could still affect her speed, making her advantages unable to show up, as if she was trapped in a quagmire. Everyone saw that Longyan, who had the heaven-slaying bloodthorn, had lost her speed advantage and was completely controlled by Xuanhuan. This meant that she was only a moment away from defeat. People couldn't help but feel that it was simply chaotic for Guangming Dragon Lord to find such an opponent to restrain Longyan. This was completely a case of hitting a rock with an egg. Under the rampage of the 9-layered Snow Realm Heavenly Dragon, the little blood dragon had no place to play at all. It seemed that even the Blizzard Dragon Lord was very satisfied with this. A 13-year-old child could have such divine power, and for a while, he was praised by many god kings. People secretly thought that Guangming Dragon Lord had made a mistake this time. Guangming Dragon Lord might want to make this woman tremble with a stronger opponent like Zhang Zizai, so as to improve his reputation, but this time he went in the wrong direction and was too bold. If he found Xuanhuan, there would be no chance at all. A genius like Xuanhuan really can't be viewed with common sense. When people were all amazed at the power of Xuanhuan's 9-layered snow realm, he himself saw that he had successfully restricted Long Yan, and he also sneered. My mother told me not to be ruthless. After all, you are also a beautiful sister, but you actually hurt me. You don't deserve to be the first person to hurt me, so I still have to teach you a lesson and let you understand that you, the bright dragon lord, are just like this. After that, a more powerful storm came. Really, at this moment, Long Yan, who seemed to be trapped in a quagmire, suddenly turned into blood mist again and disappeared. At this time, the blood mist spread all over the sky and merged into the ice and snow. In an instant, the flying blizzard all turned into blood color. A blood color blizzard world looks scary enough, but in fact, it also has an unimaginable beauty and magnificence. Long Yan disappeared. This is the power of her Teku Blood Prison Dragon Totem. Teku Blood Prison is good at superimposing on other people's totem fields. Now, this is Xuanhuan's Blizzard World, and also her Teku Blood Prison World. Xuanhuan suddenly discovered that he could no longer perfectly control this 9-layer snow realm. The flying blizzard had some problems, and some parts could not move according to his wishes. What's going on? He was a little depressed, and tried harder to control it, but the world became more chaotic. The blizzards even collided with each other, making this 9-layer snow realm extremely chaotic. Please bookmark this site to read the latest novels. Holy Dragon Totem. Author, Fengqing Yang. Chapter 1050. There were even many blood-colored snowflakes, like cold blades, attacking him. Instead, he was swallowed up by the influence of his totem field. This made him shocked and confused and had to refine his the god-level totem weapon Extreme Cold Storm. It was a blue spherical shield that completely protected him. It was similar to Zhang Zizai's Demon Lord Cauldron, but of course it was much scarier than the Demon Lord Cauldron. This spherical shield successfully blocked the flying snowflakes, but at the same time, it also you can guard against Long Yan's sudden appearance of the heaven-destroying Bloodthorn. No matter what mysteries you are up to, they are destined to be trivial. Xuanhuan didn't care about the changes in the 9 layers of Snow Realm. He knew that it might be caused by the opponent's totem ability, so he directly used the Extreme Cold Storm to protect his body. At the same time, another god-level magic weapon appeared in his hand, the Blizzard Book. He held the Ice Blue Blizzard Book in one hand and pointed on it with the other hand. On the Blizzard Book, there were pictures one after another. They were all grand scenes of ice and snow, and they were countless ice and snow sword energies. When his finger pointed at when it was above, countless icy blue sword energy flew out from it, sweeping across the world and exploding in all directions. Get out of here. In his 9th layer of Snow Realm, using the Extreme Cold Storm to protect his body and the Blizzard Book to attack, he was like a moving fort, not afraid of Long Yan at all. Whoosh whoosh. His attack was indeed terrifying and aroused the admiration of many god kings, but unfortunately, he could not see where Long Yan was. Rat on the street, get out of here. Just as he shouted, suddenly, a storm of snowflakes swept across the sky, knocking him into the air. In an instant, the extremely cold storm broke out several times. Trembling, at the last moment, a sharp thorn penetrated directly through the extreme cold storm and pierced his eyes. It was a bloody thorn, and it also looked like a bloody little dragon. At the same time, he finally saw the dragon's face, but it directly collided with her eyes. The will to kill 9 deaths. This was the will to kill, which formed a violent impact at this moment, bombarding Xuanhuan's head. His soul trembled, and the death crisis caused by the Bloodthorn made him block the Blizzard Book in front of his eyes at this moment. What was terrible was that the Zushan Bloodthorn actually pierced the Blizzard Book directly. The former God King level totem weapon was extremely sharp. The sharpest end was almost like a sharp needle. It pierced the Blizzard Book and directly reached his chest. Fortunately, he used his last strength to click on the blizzard book and finally blocked the heaven-destroying blood thorn. But he forgot that there were two Zushan blood thorns. Just as he blocked the first one, suddenly, someone seemed to appear behind him. His neck was pinched and lifted like a chicken. Then a sharp thorn seemed to be pressed against his back, capable of penetrating him at any time. He had unlimited confidence in his extreme cold storm and blizzard book, which were gifts given to him by his mother, but he never thought that these two precious things would be penetrated by Zushan bloodthorn like this. Although it would not be completely damaged after repairing it, this fatal threat made his face pale, his mind went blank, and he stood there blankly, his legs trembling. "You lost," the girl's voice echoed in his ears. He shuddered and looked back. This sister no longer had dragon scales. Her black hair was flying in the air. Her eyes looked very ethereal and uncontested. However, the spikes on her hands were extremely terrifying. Like the thorns of a rose. The 9 layers snow realm disappeared, and people could see it more clearly. Xuanhuan, who was not tall enough, asked Longyan to hold the back of his neck and lift him up. A Zushan bloodthorn was pressed against his back. The 9 death blood demon was beside him. Once it penetrates, even the blizzard dragon lord may not be able to save him. The battle was over, the winner was decided, and there was no suspense. Longyan didn't want to touch him for too long, so he just threw him out, and then returned to Zhang Zizai. "You are so scary," Zhang Zizai said. "No way." Longyan pursed her lips and smiled. She knew that Zhang Zizai liked to tease her. She was back, but Xuanhuan was still stunned, unable to react at all. He looked over blankly and said, "How can you penetrate my extreme cold storm? It's impossible. You don't have such power." Before he finished speaking, he asked Blizzard Dragon Lord to pull him back. Blizzard Dragon Lord's face didn't look good. She sneered and said, "Light Dragon Lord seems to have been prepared this time and brought there are many talents. This woman was also brought by the heavenly dragon god king from the small god realm. She must know why Xuanhuan lost." The answer is that Longyan also has the ability to defeat his opponent across realms. Xuanhuan was completely suppressed by it just now. You know, Xuanhuan himself is also a top genius, he is just young. Actually, it doesn't matter. After all, she is 5 or 6 years older and her level is still a few levels lower. Your son is still more powerful. This girl is not worth mentioning, Guangming Dragon Lord said seriously, but don't say it casually in the future, others are not worthy. Call me your opponent. If you lose accidentally, your mother will be embarrassed. His words were somewhat sarcastic, but Blizzard Dragon King really had no choice. Defeat was defeat, so he could only hold it in. During the last centenary festival, the Blizzard Celestial clan rose up strongly and defeated many divine kings of the Bright Dragon clan, making the Bright Dragon Lord very embarrassed. Today, the Bright Dragon Lord is clearly here to take revenge. Moreover, she defeated her most proud son with Longyan. The surprise caused by this battle was no less than that caused by Zhang Zizai, so the gods of all parties were amazed and asked the Dragon God King why Longyan was so strong. The Dragon God King only told the reason after getting the permission of the Light Dragon Lord. After all, more people knew Longyan's talent, and sooner or later the entire Holy Dragon clan would know it. This child also has the blood of the Supreme Dragon. You can see this if you look carefully. Coincidentally, she and Zhang Zizai are both people who have passed the 9 extreme heavenly god tribulation and the heavenly one soul tribulation. They both have the potential of the gods. The current realm is not high because I used to train them in the small divine domain. After coming to the divine domain, they have made great progress, the Dragon God King said. So that's it, everyone suddenly realized. The potential of the gods plus the blood of the Supreme Dragon? It's amazing. Within 10,000 years, we in the entire Holy Dragon clan can't find a second one, many people exclaimed. The Dragon God King suddenly laughed. People asked him what he was laughing at. The Dragon God King said, in fact, within the 10,000 years, there are still people with the potential of a god and the blood of the supreme dragon, but everyone just doesn't know it. Who is it? Everyone asked curiously. The Dragon God King pointed at himself and said, it's me. Please bookmark this site to read the latest novels. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Holy Dragon Totem. Author, Fengqing Yang. Chapter 1051. The Heavenly Dragon God King also has the Supreme Dragon bloodline and the godly potential? To be honest, at his level, as long as he doesn't want others to know that he has the Supreme Dragon bloodline, it will be difficult for others to know. As for the godly potential, it can only be seen when he is overcoming the tribulation. In general, the godly potential is rarer than the Supreme Dragon bloodline. And if the two are combined, it is indeed very rare. Longyan has these two talents, which is destined to make her get enough attention in this Holy Dragon clan. Even though her age and realm are far inferior to Xuanhuan, she is from a small divine domain after all, unlike Xuanhuan who has always been trained by Blizzard Dragon Lord himself, so her realm is slightly worse, which is understandable. I hope readers will remember our domain name Taiwan Novel Network rightward arrow. After this battle, her reputation should be more memorable. However, the Heavenly Dragon God King said that he was also in this situation at this time, which attracted a lot of attention. On the side of the Zixiao Dragon clan, the Purple Shen God King smiled coldly and asked, is the Dragon God King joking? Before this, the Dragon God King had always been the God King of the small god realm, and he had no right to speak in such an occasion. People had heard that he had good talent and extraordinary combat power, but most people had never seen him. In other words, he had always been a marginal person before. Haha, you're right, I was just joking, the Dragon God King said. Is it really a joke? It depends on what others think. At least Zhang Zizai believes in him. At least so far, he thinks there is a big mystery about this person. Whether he is related to his brother or not is not completely certain. The 1000-year grand event has not yet arrived, and the competition between the younger generations is still going on. This is a long-standing tradition of the Holy Dragon clan, and it is also a way for each clan to show its heritage and future. No matter what, the performance of Zhang Zizai and Longyan did leave an impression on them. Then some young people from small tribes challenged the Light Dragon clan. Lu Dingxing, Chu Ziyu, and Suqianyu all fought. Among them, Lu Dingxing and Suqianyu both won. Their performance and talent also left a deep impression on others. Since then, the 4 people brought by the Heavenly Dragon God King from the small divine realm have all performed. It can be said that almost everyone has a promising future. In this way, the Heavenly Dragon God King is the most prominent person. Even the entire Light Dragon clan is proud of the performance of the 4 of them. And Bai Mu, who is considered to be one of the future core figures of the Light Dragon clan, has not yet made a move. The Light Dragon Lord has not given him a chance to make a move, but it can be seen that in order to suppress the Light Dragon clan, many people have been eyeing him. After a round, many ancient gods brought by small tribes have basically demonstrated their strength. On the big tribe side, there are still some finalists who have not appeared yet, so they continue to go round. The Red Flame Dragon tribe and the White Flame Dragon tribe have fought each other. Less than half an hour later, it was the turn of the Purple Sky Dragon tribe again. This time, the Purple Sky Dragon tribe's Zi Zhen came out. Everyone knew who he would challenge. When he went to the battle, Zi Ying kissed him on the side of his face, which attracted many people's attention. Walking onto the battlefield, Zi Zhen's eyes swept towards the Bright Dragon tribe. His eyes were locked on Bai Mu, and he said, "Come out for a fight, Bai Mu." Concise and to the point. Go Guanjao God King gave instructions directly. Bai Mu nodded, his expression cold, walked onto the battlefield, and stood face to face with Zizhen. The person opposite him could be said to be a rare genius of the purple sky dragon tribe. He was different from Bai Mu. His parents were very ordinary. They were the kind of people who had a hard time becoming a god, but he was gifted and stronger than Ziying. Like Bai Mu, he also has a god king level totem, which is the evolution source he inherited from a relic. It did not occupy the resources of the Zixiao dragon clan at all. The duel between them is basically the strongest duel in the ancient god realm. Both of them are close to the realm of the god lord, and then they both have rare god king level totems, which are much higher than their peers. Among the ancient gods present, there are not many who have god king level totems. The two of them basically did not talk much, almost like enemies meeting. They were extremely jealous and went to war directly. Zhang Zizhe only took a glance and knew that these two people had the strength to crush him. Not only did they have a strong god source, but the strongest one was actually their god king level totems. When the totem reaches the god king level, when it truly becomes a god king, it has the ability to disperse the totem. Every dragon clan in the dragon sacrifice divine domain has a place called the pool of all beings. The god king can divide the totem into countless and scatter it into the pond of all beings. Through the god pillar of origin, it is given to the mortals of the totem world, thereby promoting the bloodline of the supreme dragon clan and inheriting the totem world. The pool of all beings and the pillar of origin were created by heaven and earth, and no one seems to be able to explain much of the principle. However, in order to reproduce the bloodline of the supreme dragon clan, the ancestors have always required the god kings to differentiate the totems since ancient times, and the god kings must do so, because for any god king, the more totems he differentiates, the stronger the inheritor is in the totem world, and he can get great benefits himself. The increase in his strength and realm is closely related to the totems he differentiates. The Kylan god, wolf god, etc. worshipped by the mortal world are actually these god kings. In fact, mortals do not know the details of the god realm, so they add their own imagination of the gods. As for the god realm, totems are propagated by blood, which is the real high-end inheritance method. The descendants of the god king are definitely god-level totems when they are born, and the totems they differentiate are basically at the level of the heaven and earth. Even the universe totem requires a relatively strong god king to differentiate. Bai Mu and Zizhen both have god king level totems. Naturally, they cannot differentiate totems into the pool of all living beings. After all, they are not real god kings yet, but they have the conditions to become god kings in the future. Now the two of them are fighting fiercely. Zhang Zizhe noticed that Bai Mu's totem ability is a terrifying white light. A pair of virtual dragon horns appeared on his forehead. The light burst out from the white dragon horns, just like sword energy, destroying everything. No matter what it encounters, it will be destroyed directly, and even have a terrible purification effect. For example, Long Yan's ancient blood prison totem is likely to be penetrated and torn by this white light. This is definitely the most sacred power. Bai Mu has this power, and it looks supreme. Zhang Zizhe was curious about this. This was the first time he had seen the power of a god king level totem. He thought it was indeed powerful, and his infinite space-time was definitely not as powerful as it was. After all, in the face of absolute power, no matter how mysterious the means of space-time were, they could be destroyed. He saw Chu Xiu's eyes light up, nervous and excited, so he asked, "What kind of totem is this, Bai Mu?" Holy Dragon Totem. Author, Fengqing Yang. Chapter 1052. Eternal Annihilation Holy Light Dragon Totem. When he becomes a god king, he can transform into an Eternal Annihilation Holy Light Dragon. The Eternal Annihilation Holy Light he shoots not only has the power of destruction, but can also purify everything, Such as your dirty methods. Chu Xiu did not forget to insult Zhang Zizai while enthusiastically introducing it. Awesome, but his opponent is also quite good, Zhang Zizai said. It's just a facade, Chu Xiu said disdainfully. Zhang Zizai could see that Ziyi Zhen's God King level totem was a strengthening type of totem ability that could directly strengthen the divine body and divine source. He was now surrounded by thunder, and the amount of thunder was quite amazing, almost endless. This kind of thunder was much stronger than Ziying's. When all gathered in the body, he completely turned into a person made of thunder. No flesh and blood could be seen at all, but a huge thunder troll. This is called the Eternal Mixed Original Violent Thunder Dragon Totem. It allows him to possess the Eternal Mixed Original Violent Thunder God body. It is said that as long as the thunder is not extinguished, he will not be defeated. It is very difficult to deal with, but Bai Mu will definitely defeat him, Chu Xiu said. It is really worthy of being a God King level totem. Each of their names is much more domineering, and the name of the evolution source is 6 characters long. The God King level totem is the most eye-catching part of the battle between these two people. For the ability of their totems, even many God Lords are very envious, because even among God Lords, a large part of them do not have God King level totems. This kind of totem is the king among totems, and it is the supreme existence. Stronger than this totem is the totem of the gods, which is said to be a completely different concept. In addition to their totems, Zhang Zizai thinks their weapons are also very good. For example, Bai Mu, he holds a white giant sword. The giant sword is shining, and there are countless human figures carved on the blade, as if they are portraits of all living beings, constantly changing, like a world, and the people in this world are constantly providing power for this totem weapon. This is the top-level god-level totem weapon. Many gods do not have it, and its power is much stronger than your current Kangtian Zhilong Shenji. It is called the Sword of Light of all living beings, so don't think you can really surpass Bai Mu. His background is beyond your imagination, Chu Xiu warned. Really? The pair of wings behind him, Zhang Zizai asked with a smile. Bai Mu is indeed strong. In addition to the Sword of Light of all living beings, there is also a pair of huge wings of light behind him, which are composed of white feathers. Most of the time, the white feathers are condensed together and can withstand many attacks, but when they burst out, they can also sweep across the world like a downpour and penetrate everything. This is called Holy Light Sky Wings, and it was given to him by Longzun himself, Chu Xiu emphasized. He is Longzun's direct descendant, and Longzun will naturally give him the best resources. Awesome. Zhang Zizai was still quite curious. After all, Bai Mu represented the highest level of the sacrifice dragon divine domain at this age, and was also his goal. Knowing his combat power would make it easier for Zhang Zizai to position himself. For example, after seeing his lethality, he knew that he definitely couldn't fight him at this time. Even if it was just a sparring match, there was basically no chance of winning. Don't look at this guy's gentleness and elegance. He was very fierce and unstoppable when killing. But in fact, Ziyi Zhen's weapon was also very good. Zhang Zizai asked, and Chu Xiu said that Ziyi Zhen's weapon was called Three Realms Thunder Blade. He was holding the Three Realms Thunder Blade and fighting against the all-living beings Light Sword, and there was no sign of defeat. However, Zhang Zizai could see that Ziyi Zhen's more terrifying weapon was the Three Realms Rainstorm Needle. It was made of tens of thousands of sharp needles, very small and almost invisible, but in Ziyi Zhen's hands, it was superb, with electric wires wrapped around it and various transformation methods. When the lightning needles fell like a real rainstorm, if Bai Mu had not had the holy light sky wings to resist, Ziyi Zhen would have defeated him long ago. It must be said that the various configurations of these two people are luxurious. Zhang Zizai was able to cultivate to the point of approaching them within 2 years, and they had not yet become gods, which was already very good. You have to know that when Zhang Zizai first came, he was only about the second level of the ancient god realm when facing Bai Mu, which was far from now. Now everyone is watching the battle, and it can be clearly seen that these two people are definitely at the peak of the ancient god, and the elders' evaluation is the same. Basically, they think they are the two strongest in the ancient god realm among the Light Dragon clan. The two of them have made progress this time. This battle can be said to be very rough and fierce. The two of them fought back and forth, like a light dragon and a thunder dragon fighting directly in the sky. It is said that after becoming a god king, he turned into a totem beast and fought even stronger. I just don't know if there is a chance to see the grand scene of real dragon fighting today. Generally speaking, the god kings will not fight on such occasions. Since ancient times, this competition basically depends on the performance of the younger generation, and the gods are the main body. It is estimated that after this battle, it will be the turn of the gods to fight fiercely. That is another world for Zhang Zizai. Bai Mu and Ziyi Zhen fought hard, but it seems that both sides have the idea of letting them win, so the battle lasted for a long time, but Zhang Zizai has a slight intuition that he thinks Bai Mu seems to be stronger, because his spiritual will is stronger than the other party. As expected, after a fierce battle, Bai Mu really broke through his eternal mixed primordial thunder god body under the suppression, and gave the opponent a trauma with the eternal annihilation holy light, directly suppressing the opponent, and finally put the sword of light of all living beings against the opponent's chest. Although he was also very tired, he felt a sense of release. It might be that his mentality was unstable and very depressed during this period, so the battle broke out very fiercely. Now that he has won, he let out a long roar, shocking everyone, and invisibly, he has a lot more momentum. Thank you. He put away his sword and returned. When he walked back, he could clearly feel that he had been improved a lot. The whole person was full of oppression, and this oppression actually acted on Zhang Zizai and Long Yan. These two people were his source of pressure. However, even though they were oppressed by him invisibly, Zhang Zizai and Long Yan still had no reaction because they had the will of the God King. Awesome, I didn't expect Bai Mu to be so strong. Ziyi Zhen is indeed good, but in the fight, Bai Mu still suppressed him. In this case, doesn't it mean that Bai Mu may become the first ancient god of the Holy Dragon clan? It should be almost there, but judging from his current state, he should become a god soon.